Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Welcome, everyone, to another session of Gifted Generations Presents Financeology 101. I'm one of your hosts, Robin Seegers. The other host is
Elroy Seegers.
In this session, we will be talking about financial goals, setting financial goals,
Yep.
long term, mid-term, short term. Do you have goals? Do you have a plan? Is it written down? So let's talk about that because a lot of people try to achieve things without having a plan. And you're planning to fail when you do that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right. And this is actually really good because sometimes we start to set plans at the beginning of the year. We set goals. This is kind of like, let me get a jump on what I thought I was going to do this year, maybe didn't do. But if I didn't, I can reset that goal and just get a jump for next year's planning. So you can kind of like say, okay, it's October. Let me see how I did. Okay, let me reset and let me make some future plans and start setting those goals. So you got 2 months to the end of the year. So
Well, yeah. Yeah. So let's go down the list. Short-term goals is usually say maybe up to 6 months.
yep, we 0 to 12 months for short term goals.
Okay, 0 to 12 months.
Midterm is 1 to 5 years. Long term is 5 to 20 years.
So you sit down and you make a list of things that you want to achieve.
Right.
And then you put it into those categories and be realistic. Don't be too big on these goals and trying like a big goal and stick it into you're only giving yourself a year to achieve it.
Right.
So be realistic, what you really can do financially,
Right.
and then put them into those categories.
I remember we used to like want to do things to the house, and we used to say we're not gonna put it in short term, mid term, long term. We're just gonna list it down and see the costs, and then once we know the cost, we prioritize which one is 1st, which one we need. We not the price, which ones we need first, and then we look at the price and see whether we can do it right away or if it can wait. So a lot of times we just list things down and say, okay, which one needs to be done first? Okay, if it's the first one, which one can we do the low hanging fruit? And then we always went about it, very meticulously as far as how we wanted to knock those things off. Short term, done. Now we're moving to midterm, done. Now we're moving to long term. So we was very methodical about how we saw and did things. It was not all financial based, but in that category of short terms, it became financial based.
Right. And we had that list for years.
Yep.
So it took us a long time, but
Yep.
we had a plan and we
Yep.
stuck with it.
Yep.
And as we got things done, we checked it off and we
Marked it
kept
off.
we kept moving. Now, when you put things in categories like that, short term, midterm, long term,
Yep.
you're working on all of them at the same time.
Right.
But the short term ones you're gonna get done within a year.
Right. Right.
So you probably a little more aggressive on those.
Right.
And then midterm, I got up to 5 years.
Right. And here's a good example when she says you're working on long term goals, paying off a house. It's a
Mhm.
long term goal.
Mhm.
So she's saying you cannot pay for your house. You're still paying for it, but that's a long term goal. So
Right.
say I'm gonna pay it off in 30 years, I'm gonna pay a little something extra, pay it off in 20 years, or 22
Right.
years, or 19 years. It's still a long term goal, but you don't ignore it by not paying for it. So what she said is exactly right. You're still working on it, but it's just not the immediate things you're trying to take care of right away.
Right.
It's just not the forefront of what you're doing.
Right. You're doing, like he said, you're making an extra mortgage payment every year or something like that. So it's still your goal and it's a
Right.
long-term goal, but you're doing little extra things to whittle it away.
So let me give another example. We had a client and she only had one account, two accounts, savings and checking. And one of the goals were to, hey, let's, eventually save up some money within the next 0 to 6 to 8 months, and then create sub accounts in your savings so you can have one for Christmas, one for vacation, one for travel. But we didn't have enough money at that point in time to create those accounts because there's a cost associated with creating an account. $25 to start it up for most credit unions. So our goal was, okay, first let's just go ahead and get some things paid off, and then start creating those accounts. So when she sees a certain amount in that account for travel, she knows I got this much made for travel. So it took us 7 months, and now we at that point where now we can create those accounts. That was a short term goal, is to pay off a few bills and then create those accounts. Even though it's still money going into the account, you're separated as far as which account it's going into.
Right.
So that was a 0 to 12 month goal that we achieved.
And everybody's plan is going to look totally different,
Right.
based on what you need.
Yep.
So you can't go out online and find a plan and try to make it work for you. You have to figure out what you need.
Amen.
And like Elroy said, the best way to do is just make a list of all the things that you would like to see yourself do financially, and then stick it into those different categories, and then come up with a strategy on how you're going to achieve those goals. And then you just, each one you're working all of them at the same time, but you have a plan. The short-term goals, you may be more aggressive, and then less aggressive midterm, and even less aggressive on
and some of them just really
long-term.
could be very simple. Like, for example, paying bills on time.
Yeah.
It's a short-term immediate goal. Not just short-term. It's like some people don't pay bills on time. They're not aware of when the bills is due, how much it costs. So that could be a goal that you can achieve very easily to start that motivation of doing other things to achieve. And you want to make sure that it's goals as they may be short-term, but they're also achievable. What I mean by that, I'm going to say $10,000 in 1 month in the next 2 months. You'd be like, okay, it's a short-term goal, but is it realistic?
Right. Right. And like I always said, if you think about it, paying your bills on time, that's a good goal to have, because you're not paying extra money for late fees. That money could be going somewhere else. So that could be a short-term goal. Creating your financial plan, paying off your credit card. I'm just listing some things. Having an emergency fund, setting up your retirement account. We just have a fresh story about that. You want to tell them about?
Oh, our son. So I was like, what you I was thinking of the church thing from last night, the legacy thing. I was thinking about that, the estate plan and stuff. So I'm sitting at work, and my son sends me a text, and he's like, Dad, I got this much money in my account. Now, I know how much he had from the previous year, so I had that number memorized, the roundabout figure. And I went, wow, okay, doing pretty good. He says, you know what? I'm going to up it some more. I'm going to put more money into my retirement fund. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. So I said that because he had a short-term goal to start it, right? And now this short-term goal is turned into a long-term goal, because now you're saying, if I got this much in a short term, how much would it be long-term when I retire?
Right.
He said, so if I'm putting X in his account and it's achieved this, what if I put Y in it? And what would it achieve? He's like, oh, I'm putting more into this account because I can do without this money, but I'm about to increase it in. So he's now seeing the benefits of understanding of how 401ks and 403bs going to. He said, man, I got money just for putting money into an account. He said, it's crazy when you think about for millenniums. You're getting money for just putting something somewhere, which is like just putting it on. I said, that's what I told him. I said, well, it's better than putting it on the table than just sitting there.
Right.
I said, think about the biblical principles behind that, the 3 talents and stuff.
Right.
What one person did.
They didn't do anything with it.
So he says, yeah. He says, yeah. He said, yeah. And he came down. And normally my son don't come down and just hug me and say how you doing. He came down and said, I'm doing good. I said, you're doing great. I was like, you're doing good. I was happy to see that text. So that short-term goal to start it turned into really a midterm goal to see it grow to like, it's a long-term goal now. So those things can trickle to different levels of your goals once you see that snowball starting to get bigger. And I told him, it's always hard to start. I said, because you don't see the benefit of it. Because you start with $50 or you start. Now, I say this here, he only started with $25 a month. Now he's like, I'm doing he's doing way more than that now. Way more than that now. and he's seeing the benefits of those things now. Because once you start seeing that pot grow, you're like saying, "Oh my goodness!" It starts to get bigger and bigger. 5 become 10, 10 become 15, 15 become 30, 30 become 60, 60 become 120, and you're like, "Okay, I want to do more." And he sees the benefit of doing more. He sees a long term effect,
Right.
20 years down the road, what he can achieve. And I've been preaching that for like, just start it, just start it, just start it, just
Right.
start it, just start it. And now he started, like, now it has his own traction.
Right. He caught on.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
caught on.
Yeah.
And now, when he also told me, I told him that if you go to another job, that goes with
Yeah.
you. He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "You can leave it where it is, but you can't do
Roll it
any.
over.
You can't do anything with it as far as add more money to it. It just sits dormant."
Right.
I said, "But it rolls. You can roll over to your new company's plan." He said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah." I said, "So you can keep that going.
Yep.
It just go with you. You just
Yep.
do the paperwork and it just roll
Keep
right
on
on
going.
over. Keep it going."
Keep
He
adding
was
to it.
like, "Wow, I didn't know that." So now the light bulb is on. And here's another goal: your credit score.
Yeah.
Fixing your credit score.
Yeah.
We know somebody that was looking to buy a house, and they were looking to just fix their credit score so they had a better standing. That's a goal. That
Yeah.
could be a short term goal. It
Yeah.
could be a midterm goal,
Mhm.
depending on your
And
situation.
some terms, some people, it's a long term goal.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately for some people.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. It depends on how
The
aggressive
situation.
you
Yeah.
are, and if you're really hungry for it and you're
Mhm.
focused. It can
Yeah.
fit in. A lot of these goals can fit in any category.
And,
It's up to you.
and here's what I like about that, what you're saying, fixing your score. It's going to teach you habits. And what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that, you're not going to fix their score overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You got to change a habit to fix their score so you can maintain it long term. So let's say your score is like 558, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, okay, you look at you do a report and you see you've been paying bills late for a long period of time. You want to try to clean it up. So now you're starting to pay bills on time, right? You're like, well, I've been paying bills on time for the last 6 months. Don't work that way. You got to do more than just 6 months to pay bills on time. You may get a few points here and there because now you paying down that amount,
Right.
from 1,000 to 500, so you're getting more points, and you're showing that you're trustworthy to pay your bills on time and to just pay bills. So that FICO score is going to grow slowly because you got to prove yourself. They're not going to give you something because you did it for the last 6 months.
Right.
People with great credit scores has done it over years,
Right.
years. But we're just so quick to say, it's been 7 months. I paid all these bills. Why haven't my score raised yet? It takes time.
Yeah.
So don't think it's going to be an overnight success. It's not going to be, you plant a seed, it's going to grow overnight. You got to fertilize that thing. And it's going to take time for the growth. But what I mean by teaching you habits, now you get in the habit of paying it on time all the time. You're more attentive to paying your bills. So he's like saying, I'm not going to pay my bill. I'm going to pay my bill for the next 6 months, and you stop. For the last 6 months, you've been paying it on time. Now you've created a habit. You will continue to pay it on time. You're more tuned into what you're doing and what you have and who you got to owe.
That's true. That's true.
There's benefits from things you get a picture on, but there's a lot of side benefits. Like with medicine, we're targeting your heart, but then there's a side effect from that, and other things are fixed from that heart pill that they have.
Right.
It may fix your veins, it may fix your eyes, and like, okay, so now this is an eye pill. You're targeting one thing and what you're focused on.
Oh, pharmacies. Yeah.
And then you focus on one thing, and then next you're actually fixing other things that's underlying issues, and you don't even realize it.
That you don't even think about.
Right. Exactly.
Another goal is: do you want to start your own business?
Start it.
That could be a goal, and you can put it in if it's a midterm, long term goal. So it's always, all of these ideas are customized by the individual. It all depends on your financial needs, your financial plan. But it's best to have one. And people always say, write it down. If it's not written down, it's good as forgotten. And then I noticed that if it's written down, you more apt to stick to it because it's in your face.
It's in your face. Yeah.
But if it's in your mind, because nobody else knows it. If it's written down, other people might see it and might start holding you to it. But if it's in your mind, no one else knows it. So if you skip here and there, you're not really strong, and you fall off the wagon here and there, no one's holding you accountable. So you don't do well. So write it down, put it in front of your face. Let somebody else in on it, accountability partner that can help keep you motivated.
So what you're talking about is being smart. And SMART is actually a word for acronym for a phrase. Is SMART means SMART goals actually. It's being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. That's the acronym for SMART. So you gotta be smart about those goals you achieve. You gotta think about what you want to achieve. You gotta create those SMART goals. Like Robin said, write it down. And not only just writing it down. Here's what's important: the steps to achieve that goal.
Mm-hmm.
I can write down, I'm gonna go on a trip. But what are my steps to go on that expensive trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta save. I gotta plan. I gotta buy this. I gotta do this here. I gotta make sure these things are taken care of. So you just can't write. You just can't have a goal, but you gotta make sure that goal is measurable and there's steps to achieving that
Mm-hmm.
goal. Anybody can write it down, right?
Right.
I want to buy a
Right.
new house. Okay. What's your steps to buy a new house? Oh,
Right.
let me fix my credit score. Okay. Then what else? You know what I'm saying? I gotta get
Right.
new
What's
furniture.
next?
Yeah. So
What's
let's
next?
think, and that's what you mean. You gotta think about it. And here's the thing: the first thing you write down for that plan is not gonna be the final thing you do in that plan, because that plan needs to be liquid enough where you can change it.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
can't be like, this is what I wrote down. That's what I'm gonna do. That's kind of like your draft to
Right.
your plan. So put it
Right.
in pencil because it's gonna change.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
change. It's gonna change.
So we just wanted to get on here and talk about that.
Yeah.
Any other?
Well, like I said, we always talk about, we were talking about when we did you prioritizing your goals and stuff, and we did ours differently. It wasn't based on the amount. It was like if something might have been something achievable or short term, immediate, a broken window that can be a long term goal. That's gonna be like, I need to get this goal fix that thing right away. So you also want for those deadlines, for those goals, you want to make sure you create a timeline for where you think you can achieve that goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even though it's 0 to 12 months, type things for a short term goal, you want to still say, okay, I may can do it in 5 months. Like the last client I was working on, I had set a goal that I'm gonna get her cleaned up in 6 months. We got to clean up in 8 months. Well, I told her a year, I think I did, but I told you,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not telling her, but it's gonna be 6 months. I said, I can see it in 6 months. I'm gonna be aggressive with her because she has the right attitude. So we had to go for her as a agreed upon goal, but I knew we can get it cleaned up in 6 months. We did it in 8 months. So we had that timeline already measured for her.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say we didn't do it in 12 months. We said, okay, we're just gonna readjust it in 12 months and see what does it actually fit. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't fit the first 12 months, you have to reassess that thing and say, okay, I thought I can do it in 12 months, right? I wanted to save $2,000 in 12 months. I wasn't able to do it. Where am I at? Well, I'm at 1850. Okay, I'm only 150 away. So 12 months may end up being 13 months. Still an achievable goal, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the short term goal that you thought, but still a goal that you achieved.
So that sounds like you have to be on top of this um this plan all the time,
Yeah.
meaning looking at it
Hmm.
every day if you
Yeah.
have to.
Yep.
And like Elroy said, it's liquid, it's going to be moving,
Yep.
things going to be
Hmm.
changing, you're going to be adjusting.
Yep.
So you don't write it down and forget about it.
Yep.
You write it down and then you meditate on it,
Hmm.
and you see if you're meeting those goals, if
Hmm.
you got the resources to
Right.
achieve these goals.
Right.
So you it's really requiring you to be engaged,
Yep.
to give thought,
Yep.
and stop just going through life, letting things
Yep.
happen to
To you,
you.
you make it happen.
You're making it
Yeah.
happen.
You make it happen. Yeah.
So what he said was absolutely right. You
Mm.
have to keep thinking about it, keep
Yep.
thinking about it, keep revisiting it. Don't beat yourself up if something don't
Yep.
work out the way you thought.
Right.
Just give thought to it can work out
Yeah.
another way, or
Yeah.
come at it a different way. And
Yep.
there's always what's that phrase? There's many ways to skin a cat. Something like that.
I don't
That
know. It's
is
1,000 was I don't know. 1,001. Guess I only got 9 lives while you skinning me.
So it's all sorts of ways to come at the same issue.
Hmm.
So just give thought to those things. Don't give
Yeah.
up on it. If
Yeah.
it didn't work out this way, you got to come at it another way.
Find a route. GPS your way to
Right.
success.
Right. Most of the times, anything you want, you're gonna have to fight for it.
Yep. 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 Yep.
It's not gonna come easy. A lot of us want it to come easy. Praise God, did we want it to come easy?
Yep.
But it's not, and you got to put
Hmm.
them gloves on and start fighting for
Oh,
what you want.
Put them up. Put them up. Put them up. Put your dukes up.
So
Put your dukes up.
so I pray that this was a blessing to someone, and that they sitting down writing down your goals. It's whatever your goal is. It's your plan. It's nobody else's plan but yours.
Amen to that. Amen
So
to that.
you work it the way you need to work it, but the key thing is to work it.
Yeah. I mean, we're here. We're here. We're available for you guys to call us, talk to us, email us, for questions or for help. That's what me and Robin love to do. We love to help our people, individually or in the group. We make ourselves available. Always go to our website and book a consultation session just to hear what we got to say, and we kind of like tell you what we think and stuff. And I think that's important because a lot of times you listen to a podcast, you don't know where to start.
Right.
Well, you start by contacting somebody.
Right.
You reach out.
Right.
And when you reach out, then you get results. When you're just sitting there saying, "Oh, that was good. That was good," but then you do nothing.
Right.
You got to. I used to love that. You love Christmas shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one, the Bomb of Snowman. I love that song. Put one foot in front of the other. She was bobbing her head, y'all. I knew who to get to. I knew who to get to it, y'all. You're like, oh yeah. If I had the video, y'all see her bobbing that little head. But I love that song because it's a metaphor for actually what you do in life. You put one foot in front of the other to make a progress to go somewhere. So that thing always, that every time I hear that every year, I be like, man, that's just so simple about life.
And before you know it, you're running.
Yeah.
The song says, before you know, you're running out the door. Look at our son. He was putting one foot in front of the other, and now he's running with his retirement.
Yeah.
And something our pastor has been teaching us, Dr. Chapman at Raleigh North Christian Center, he's been teaching us about faith.
Yeah.
Faith. It's going to take a lot of faith, trust in God, because you don't see how it's going to happen, but you feel that it's supposed to happen. So you walk by faith, and you just keep moving, and you keep moving because God blesses movement. So you keep moving and you keep moving, and you don't know where you're going, but you just keep moving because you feel that's what you're supposed to do.
Y'all want to hear a powerful man speak? You need to pull up Raleigh North Christian Center, RNCC online, YouTube, Facebook. I'm telling you, this is a powerful man. He has a heart for entrepreneurship. We actually doing a total man cave on November 11th from 10 to 3, where we're going to have different speakers. And your boy, Elroy, is going to be doing the financial part. I got 40 minutes to put it down, y'all. Look, y'all need to check it out, man. I mean, this guy, he's going to have 4 speakers. I'm going to be one talking about finances. Going to be one talking about spiritual. One be talking about health. And then Dr. Chapman going to wrap the whole thing up. Yeah. And this man, he has a word for you. Yeah. When you think you got nothing else to learn, check it out. Yeah. You're gonna hear something that's dynamic.
He's Dr. Jeffrey Chapman Sr.
Yeah.
His ministry is about encouraging us to go higher in God. It's not about amassing money and getting all this stuff. It's about going higher in God and being the best that you can be while you're here on this earth.
And what do you always say? You got to celebrate others. Because when it's your time, you're gonna want them to celebrate you. A lot of times we don't do that. We look at somebody like, who do you think they is? And then you go there, you were like, see, ain't nobody celebrating me. That's because you didn't take time to celebrate nobody else.
Right.
So your time is coming. And I know it's hard. I know we think about it sometimes. Like, man, when is my time? When God says it is.
Right. You gotta be prepared. So he's preparing you for the blessing he already has prepared for you.
And he has there's so many people in that church who's taken the financial learning experience classes, had their school loans paid off. Now I ain't talking about no $10,000. I'm talking about hundreds, $150,000, $110,000, $220,000 student loans forgiven because they have been faithful not only in his services but also in their finances. And I'm just amazed at just that church.
Right.
People one guy this last class, I'm gonna give his name. He had an envelope on his desk. Had it since August, and he'd heard about all the blessings that people in church was being forgiven. He decided to open up in the class and says, "Oh my gosh, this envelope being since August. I just opened it up, and all my student loan debt is forgiven over $100,000." Can you imagine the agony of having something on your desk and you're not touching it because you know what it's going to say, and you open it up? You had a blessing there all this time.
Mm-hmm.
All of August, September went by, sitting on his desk, and he wanted to do it in front of the class. Boy, that thing made everybody shout. I'm sorry, I went off track, baby. My bad. I went down a rabbit
That's
hole,
okay.
rabbit hole, rabbit hole, rabbit hole, rabbit hole.
That's
But look,
okay.
but that was that long-term goal for him to get that
Right.
student loan paid off. Guess what? It's paid off now. By
Great.
what? You said by what? By faith.
Faith. By faith.
There it is.
Trusting
There it
God.
is. What church it is? Raleigh North Christian Center. Who's the pastor? Dr. Jeffrey Chapman. Yeah,
Senior.
Senior. Oh, yes, two of them, y'all. Don't get the wrong one.
Senior.
Don't get the wrong one.
Junior is not the pastor.
No, don't get the wrong one.
Dr. Jeffrey
Don't
Chapman Senior.
Don't get the wrong one, y'all. if y'all do, blame Rob.
Well, it ain't nothing wrong with getting
No,
the
Junior
junior.
is a great guy.
Oh yeah.
He has come a long way. Long way. Yeah. Love the church, man. So enough about the church. So we can always talk about the pastor because he's always doing good things, changes our lives. So now let's go ahead and talk about the things that we're doing here. We have this podcast you're currently listening to. This is the podcast, y'all. But we also have a podcast, but you can find us at our website at giftedgenerations-llc.com/podcast. I actually gave that out today to somebody to listen to an old one. He's like, that one's out there? I was like, yeah. He's like, so we listened to it today. He was like, man, it was crazy what I was saying. So yes, it was. We're also on Facebook. You can find us at Gifted Gen LLC. Instagram is gift.gen. And then on YouTube is at Gifted Generations LLC. Just put in Gifted Generations and we'll come up LLC and you'll find us. We got tons of material out there. I think over 55 hours of material. And then we're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. You can find us by doing Financeology 101. And then Twitter is at GiftedGen 2019. So look us up, follow us on all our social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you, just like you hear from us. We try to drop down a few nuggets. You take those nuggets and apply in your everyday life, and you can become rich and golden with those nuggets.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. I pray this is a blessing to you and have a wonderful evening.
Always a blessing. Always a blessing.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.